Hi everyone, Mattheas here. So today we're going to be doing something a bit different. We're going to be going more low production quality. Today we're going to be looking at how I do my mix down process just in preparation for the actual mix. I mostly do this where I export all the stems into a separate project just because it forces me to sort of make more intentional mixing decisions than what I might do if I was just in the production file. And it also forces me to commit to the sounds that I've made a little bit more. Today we're going to be doing the mixdown process for my track Detour. Generally the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to create a separate project entirely. Usually I just call this premix. It's very important that you name everything just so that you have it there. And then I'm numbering it so that if I have to make revisions after the fact, it makes sure that I can keep all the files I need. So the core of this is taking off all of the effects that you need and then getting straight down to the stems. So if we look in here, we actually don't have that many effects all over the place. So the main thing here is deciding what is here as character and what here is just to get the mix done. So we'll just start at the bottom of the chain and add plugins to see what they're actually doing to decide if we need them or not. So the first thing we have is Tell Noisemaker, the actual synth that we're using. And then we have a compressor. And so we can hear that this is just adding a touch of punch, probably something we could handle in the mix. Then we have Head Crusher. This is adding a bit more character to the sound. That changes things enough that I think it's better to keep it. Then we have another saturation here. That's making it a lot louder. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a quick volume plugin on here because our ears are going to trick us into thinking that it sounds different than it actually does. That does change the sound a lot. Really fattens it up. Now this is kind of a weird choice that I made, not quite understanding what I was doing at the time. So we have that reverb in there, and that actually fills it out a lot, but it also can cause a lot of mixing problems later on. And then if I just make this completely dry, definitely makes it louder. It's almost giving it a bit of a chorus, so that's definitely a character thing. I think I'd rather control the reverb separately, so I'm going to leave that just completely dry, but we're still getting that tube in there, which you can hear. And then I think this pitch thing was something that happens later on. Yep, that matters. That's staying because that's a character thing. So basically what we're deciding is that most of these plugins here are sound design. So it's better to just kind of keep them how they are. This is what it looks like in the end here. This is our final stack for that. And that's just because everything here is for character. And then we have another bass here. That's crunchy. Okay, we have the pitch thing. We know what's happening there. I think I'd rather keep that off. I can handle that in the mix later on. Okay, we have these reverbs. These are going to go. I want to handle that on my own. Then we're getting to the drum kit. We're sending everything out, saturating them, compressing them. I want to handle that in the mix. And then we have the reverbs. These are both going to go. Getting into the leads now, we're looking at this is Tyrell N6. And then what's this EQ doing? Okay. This is low pass automation. The next one is the same thing. And then we have reverbs again. We're not keeping those. Getting into the keys. This is again just pitch automation. This is going through U. That's probably completely wrong. We probably don't want that. Let's hear it just to be sure though. No, we don't need that. It's a bunch of reverb on there. I probably want to handle that on my own. Yeah, I can handle that on my own in the mix. That's cool. Getting in here, we have another instance of Nova, a really weird low pass. I'm guessing I don't need this either. Yep, I don't need that. These guys can go. We'll handle reverb afterward. Then we get into the effects. This is all sound design, so that'll stay as is. So this gives us a bit of a cleaner thing to deal with once we get into the actual mix. All of the effects that are happening here are entirely character, they're creative decisions. And that makes it so that once we get into the mix, we're more focused on the actual mixing process. We don't care about anything other than that. One quick thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that we have everything panned center. That's a mixing thing. So this hi-hat, that needs to go center. Shaker's going center. That's going center. Okay, so we can see what we're looking at in terms of automation. There's a reasonable amount. The main thing is I just don't want panning, I think. Low pass is good. Panning here, I don't want you. I'll just turn that off, disable it. Disable that. Okay, I think this is all stuff that's needed for the sound design. So that just gets everything all cleaned up. And from there, we can export our stems. Now, Reaper makes this super easy. Okay, so I'm just creating a new folder for the stems. And then we're going to use some wildcards in Reaper, which is essentially just going to autofill the name to be appropriate. So the first thing, I just like to use the project. And then we're going to use the track number, parent track, and then the track name. So if we look at this now, we can see a quick preview of what it will look like. So we have the project name, which goes into the track number, and then the parent, and then it goes to the track name. And what this allows me to do is when I have these exported and I import them into my new project, they're going to import in the same order that they were. And then on top of that, I can see exactly what folders they went into, so it's a lot easier to organize. And then to finish this off, stems, entire project, we have this all set, and we definitely want those to be waves. And then it's selected files, so we just have to select everything. Hit render. Okay, cool, that's done. So I'm going to save the project and then create a new project. So you always want to make sure that you get the tempo right first, because it can be a bit of a pain to deal with afterward. But I can just pull in all of those now. So now I'm going to go through and I'm just going to rename everything. Okay. So after having gone through and renamed everything, we have something that looks nice and concise. And then I'm just going to create some regions real quickly so I can quickly see what I'm dealing with as I'm mixing. Because when you just have these blobs of audio, it can be a little bit hard to tell where you are in the project. And then the last thing we're going to do here is we're just going to go into the mixer. Going to take all of the tracks, we're going to take them all down, and then I'm going to take all the folder tracks and put them back up. And this essentially preps me so that when I start mixing, I have everything exactly where I need it to be so that I can get in and just start doing work as opposed to dealing with all the busy work. Sorry for the fairly informal video today. Thank you for watching anyway. If you enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate it if you'd leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, share with your friends, all of that stuff. It all helps out a lot. Thank you guys for watching and have an awesome day.